Test, test. I can hear myself. Hopefully that means y'all can hear me soon. There. I think we have audio now. Um, cool. Hey guys, welcome to my stream today. We are going to be working on iHog again. Yesterday I had quite a bit of people, a little bit of people come in and watch me work on iHog. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. We are going to be doing, so what we're going to be working on is more of that soft key implementation. And if you didn't catch it yesterday, no big deal, because we're going to still keep working on it. There are some things that I realized last night that don't really work with the implementation of how I've started working, which is okay. We'll take care of it. And right now I'm only working on the iPhone view anyway, so the iPads are going to be a little bit different. I'm trying to give a native experience to each, the iPad and the iPhone, or not native, but an experience that works for both, for the two different devices. Like on the iPad, because you have a bigger screen, we get a lot more, can you not knock that over? Thank you. We get a lot more buttons to play with rather than everything being accessed through another menu. So that makes it good. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna switch real quick. Or make sure I can switch real quick. Cool. So again, I have a Trello here. This Trello is just going to be what I'm currently doing, all that good stuff. This app, iHog, is closed, so you can't really see you can't go and browse through the source code. I do have open source apps that you can find on my website, appsbymw.com. Feel free to join in to go check those out there, and you can go and see all the apps that I'm working on are in SwiftUI. So this is SwiftUI based. So let's just jump in here, see what I have. So view for buttons is what I was working on yesterday. Oh, also real quick before we actually jump in, if you go into the chat and you type in !working, then you will get a link to the website of what I'm currently working on. If you type in !ios time, the chat bot will respond and say, hey, I've been working for 2 to 3 years, all that kind of stuff. And then !uptime tells you how long I've been working in how long the stream has been going. So I've added those in there. I've also written a chat message, so no big deal. But like I said, let's go ahead and get started on that soft key implementation. I've been wanting to do this for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and run so that we can see where the app is at this current state and what I have in here. I should have built the app before starting the stream, but no big deal. I hope everyone is having a good Friday. I know I've already worked on the yard. I got the yard mowed. I got some stuff cleaned up and did some weed eating, all that good stuff. It's supposed to storm later today, but I actually wouldn't know that based on how sunny it was earlier. So I hope, like I said, I hope everyone's having a good Friday and is going to have a good weekend. And if you're in the US, I hope you have a good Memorial Day weekend. I know we've all been kind of like stuck in our house for the most part, due to all this COVID-19 stuff, but you know, it happens. We'll be okay. We'll all come through. All right, and it should be running. Let me get that simulator open here. All right, it just takes some time to actually open the app. No big deal. Cool. Yeah, so we're just gonna wait for it to open, wait for it to build, all that kind of stuff. Cool. If you have anything in the chat you want to throw in, feel free. I'm more than happy to answer some questions and whatnot here. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so, oh, it launched. Great. So these are usually all programming functions for the soft keys. So they're just kept under this wand icon here. I'm contemplating throwing some text underneath these again, just to make sure, just so that it's a little bit better for accessibility, because then you can read what what each one is, but I haven't quite gotten there yet to put them back. Now if I click on, not function, yeah, no, oh, soft keys, function keys should definitely not do the same thing. Why are they doing that? So that's no bueno. I am going to go fix that first. Function key, button, triggers, soft key, view. And that is a bug. So I like to use the Trello board. I've kind of just started doing it after listening to an episode of Launched FM. Like I said, I like it. It keeps me a little bit more focused on what I'm currently doing versus what I need to do at some point. I try to keep only having one card in here, so cards will go back and forth as much as I need from to do, doing, and done. And then testing means that these are the things that have currently gone into the current test flight build themselves. And if there's nothing really in the test flight build, like there isn't right now, then that's okay. Once I get a good chunk of cards done and it makes sense to move it over, then it goes into testing and I push out to test flight. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. Cool. Let's see. Okay, so let's get back to the code here now, and let's actually get that function keys working correctly. I don't want to be in content view. That's actually in programmer small where this is happening. So I bet it has something to do with the fact that I'm switching on here. Let's just go ahead and, so I had added in an enum at the top. I've started using enums or enumerations a lot more so that I can, so that I can actually, it's readability at this point. So I still have a raw int value associated with encoders, actions, objects, soft keys, that kind of thing. Actually, I don't even need that anymore. And we can just make this a front panel sections. And, yeah, so I've done this so that I can do a bit more of soft keys. A bit more readability, because front panel sections.soft keys is a lot more readable than, okay, number 3, int number 3. So I'm just gonna do that, and we don't need raw values anymore. And we'll just update this first. Encoders, actions, objects, soft keys, and we'll make a function keys section here as well. Chosen sheet equals front panel sections dot. This is the encoders. We want this to still be soft keys here. Chosen sheet dot objects. And in this one here, that's why, because chosen sheet was associated with 3 both times. We're going to have it be front panel sections dot utilities. Oh, I don't have a utilities in here. So easy enough. Case utilities. And then this is going to be front panel section dot function keys. Okay, and then this is dot soft keys. Great. So that should build. And then we're gonna run it. Oh, why did it fail though? Oh, equals front panel dot encoder. Is it encoders or encoder? Yeah, encoders. Then we are going to do here. I think I can just actually get away with dot encoders. Dot front panel section dot objects dot utilities whoops, wrong side. Front panel section dot soft keys here, and then sure, else is fine, or it should be fine. Front panel sections. Oh. Great, and I think that utilities. If I get all my spelling errors correct, that should be everything. Oh. It's sections. That's still going to be a mess. Great. So that should be... And that's an uppercase F here. Now that should be good. Spelling mistakes will always be my greatest downfall in any type of typing whatsoever. Whether or not that's code or actually like blog posts, it doesn't matter. They will just always be my downfall, unfortunately. Even in emails or texting, sometimes I end up sending the same text 8 million times because it has the wrong, because I just keep typing it wrong. Whether or not I'm on my keyboard, like here keyboard, or on my like phone keyboard. Okay, here, encoder should open fine, great. Objects, perfect. Utilities, awesome. Function keys, oh, great. And then we have soft keys at the bottom here, and it opens as it should, which is awesome. Great, so now what we're gonna do is go into our soft key buttons. Okay, so I have a little bit of a conundrum that I have to figure out how I wanna solve this code-wise. So there are, I'm gonna close this, open here. That was under settings that I'm looking for this one that I'm about to talk about. Programming, settings. Okay, so there's more options that I have to put in here for soft keys, because this has to communicate over Midi. So I need the MIDI channel that wants to be sent out on. Which is fine, that's doable. And then I need to, so I'll add that in at some point. Because if not, then this is just not doable. There's not, so how this app communicates to the hardware that's associated with it is via Open Sound Control. And the hardware side has a MIDI plugin for it. So I can actually choose to send MIDI over with the Open Sound Control, like, paths. Which is what I'm gonna do to implement this. So just to give you a little bit more like buttons that actually exist on the hardware itself. So at some point I have to implement that MIDI section. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the Trello real quick before I forget. Hide completed items, please. We're gonna add MIDI settings for, yeah, Midi settings. Great. Okay, so that has been done. Woo! Confetti. I love that. I love the little confetti that bursts when something's done. So let's bring this back over here and view for buttons. Great. So we have our button views. So across the top of the front panel, so these are like little soft key buttons that exist in the software for this guy. We have, if you're on and depending on which console you're on, you have different buttons. So this is going to be something that I'm going to need to test somehow with all of the hardware that I don't have currently. So what I need to do here is either have different views for each console or have different, or just have different strings of text for each console. And then depending on which setting you have chosen in here, so whether you've chosen a 418, 4, full bore 4, Roadhog 4, RackHog, that kind of thing, then you get those buttons. And I guess that could be I'm trying to think what data type would help me store that best. I'm thinking about doing a dictionary instead on this one. That way I can just say soft keys at, like if I have a soft keys dictionary, then I could say soft keys at hog 418. And then that's an array of strings that give me that options. Because it doesn't matter what console you're on, you're still going to be outputting MIDI channel 0 for note number 1, and that's what hits the soft key, the top left soft key, for example. It's just what text is actually presented to the user. So I'm going to go ahead and add that here. We'll just deal with one for now and then figure out how to make this scale first. So I'm going to do let FB4 soft keys equal, and they're going to be quotes, so the first one's help, and what comes after that, programmer output up, down, left, right, I think are enough. Again, it's just to get the general idea. I'll have to come back and actually fill this in. My cat is currently on the console that I would use to check this out right now, so I'm not gonna disturb her because she's actually being kind of chill. Oh, I accidentally closed that a little bit too early. Close that array. But this should help me do this right. And then we're also gonna have to have the number of displays. I guess it doesn't really matter. Does the number of displays matter? Because if I have 2 displays, 1 and 2, the top left is going to be top right, bottom right. So we'll just say top right for now. So maybe it might matter at some point. But basically, I'm going to have these be a grid of like 3 buttons across, so then just go down as many as they can. Which I kind of did already. I just need to go back and see how I did that necessarily. Button views. Okay. So for each object, so for each array inside formatted objects, then I do and then I go inside again. So I could do a for loop that is just doing the count of 3, for example. Since it's a VStack, I can keep that guy there if I need to. For each from 0 to 3. Item in. Is that right? Let's go back real quick. I know I have the picker in here. That actually shows me for each 0 ... less than 3. I don't actually have to do that for that item in if I'm doing just a count like that. Okay, so for each from 0 to 3, I just want, then we're going to do a soft key, button, title. I see. At bling 0. I think I need a self in there since it's like inside a closure. I think that's why the self is needed. Again, if you want me to explain anything that I'm doing more than what I'm talking about out loud, feel free to drop anything in the chat and I'm more than happy to talk about it. Cool. Soft key is here and help programmer output. Great. Yeah, and that top one came from there. So that works for that. But what I really need is also a way to get across. So I wonder if I could do... Thinking out loud is also a little bit of a challenge sometimes. Let me think. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think and talk out loud at the same time. Okay, so we have nothing beats pen and paper. What I really need to do is at some point get another Thunderbolt cable so I can hook up my iPad and we can just see on the screen exactly what's happening. And I can just write there. Okay, so we have here, we are going, so because these can vary how many soft keys we have at the top and everything varies, I think I might just do a different view for each console. Because then if I do a different view for each console, I can then call the proper view based on the setting. That makes a lot more sense than trying to just make it all work for one view. Because that would just be a bunch of ifs and else's anyway. So I might as well just do each one as its own separate view. Cool. So I'm going to, in here, soft keys. Make a new file. And we're going to call it full bore we'll just call it full bore soft keys. Again, thanks for everyone that's tuning in right now. We're currently working on iHog. If you type in !working, at least on the Twitch chat for sure, you should be able to get a, you should be able to find it, get the website and stuff to here. So we're going to format this correctly now, or what I consider correct. I really like 2 spaces instead of 4 spaces. That's just a thing that I currently like to do. So let's try, let's do this. So instead of in here, top right buttons, I still have to declare the variable. You'll see throughout my code, I don't declare types. I do it here and there. If the type is very, what am I looking for here? if the type is not so if the type is not explicit, then I will try to declare it. But if it's going to be explicit and it's like a constant, then I don't see the point in declaring it. But as I try to possibly get this ready for some open source work, to be open source a bit more, I'm going to have to start and be more consistent than what I have been in the past. So I might as well start now. So top right buttons, string here. I know these aren't all of those buttons, but that's okay. One second, guys. All right. Great. So we have help, programmer, output, down, left, right. And then what are we going to do here? Instead of VStack in here, I'm just going to put the full bore soft keys. There's no reason to have it in a VStack to be overly complicated right now. I try to just get as much done. Not as much, but I try to just get the bare minimum working and then progress from there. Which is why I was like, okay, I know I took care of most of the settings yesterday, but I'll take care of Midi again after we're done with this one. Cool. So, text, hello world. I don't really care for it to say that. What I really need is, again, it's going to go 3 across. So we need a VStack for sure. Cool. I can actually just go ahead and make this a dictionary since I'm straight up just programming it myself. So like I said, 3 across. At some point, I probably want to automate this so that it's not dependent hard-coded, because, I mean, like I said, I like to do views specific on iOS, on iPad versus iPhone, just because you have more space on an iPad, so you should have a view that looks right. But we want a VStack, and then inside that VStack, we want to do a for loop for each set of buttons in top right buttons. Nope, I did that. I called that all kinds of wrong here. Again, I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. And that doesn't show me anything. Or is that one? That's fine. I'll just wait for it to catch up when trying to do a complete for each data. Nope. There we go. Data is going to be object top right buttons. ID is going to be slash dot self. Content. So this is going to be object sets of buttons in. Then we're gonna say inside the H stack now. We also get a for each sets of buttons. ID is the same. Self. And it's going to be button in. That's when we call soft key button title button. Okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, I spelled buttons wrong. Sets of buttons. That's what I did. Spelling, again, I know I said it at the beginning, but spelling really matters. And knowing what your variables are really matters at the same time. Built. Let's see if it runs correctly, though. I am always super happy when it builds. And once it's built, like, it doesn't take that long. I'm not really adding that much to the app, so it doesn't take that long to run. Help, programmer, output, up, down, left, right. So it's there. The only thing I don't like is that it's not, like, equally spaced. I wish there was something like a flex box for SwiftUI. If you know of something like that, let me know. I'd be so happy to know. But what I'm probably going to do is make my own style so that the buttons are all the same width, I think. But that looks good to me. So up, down, left. I'm going to put right in here also. I know there's copy, size, move, focus. That's enough for that. I know it looks bad that I'm going to go to Facebook, but I am going to go to Facebook real quick because I asked at one point on this Facebook group for a lot of things here. For pictures of all the different console styles. So that I could do this. Where'd we go? I just gotta see all my notifications. I know, Facebook, the place of great, of all great knowledge. Can I just see things that I've posted though? Megan J. Wilson. Soft keys. Cool. Well, maybe you shouldn't be doing that, Sydney. Sorry. For that loud noise. If you heard that, the cat decided it was a good time to play with some stuff. Posts by you. Pictures? Maybe that'll... Okay, so Facebook groups are the worst to search in. I've also been doing like events in the Facebook group, and for some reason it just never lets me actually like put my actual proper host, like my co-host on the group correctly. That was a while ago. I don't think it was a week ago. It might have been before that. I think it was before that. And on your post. Here it is. I'm pretty sure. Nope. That's not it. Okay. Great. Of when things show up like they're supposed to. 1 second, I'll be right back. I gotta let the cat out of the room real quick before she destroys everything. Come on, let's go. Yep. Come on. No, you're still here for me. Alright, and I'm back. I probably should have muted myself during that, but that's okay. I was trying to see if they would just come up, but I don't think they will. But, you know, since the cat is out of the way, I can just stop looking and start working on that. It's fine. Okay, we're gonna not worry about that. Cool. And I closed everything that I had open before. There we go. Now it's all coming back open. All right. Cool. I'm not gonna worry about that then. It looks right. Great. And then I'd also need a let bottom right. Wow, my typing is all kinds of off right now. Bottom right soft keys. It's gonna be the exact same thing. For each. Bottom right soft keys instead. Do you think I could return this for all the people that are watching right now? Do you think I could actually make this a function that just takes in the, I mean, not a function, but like a separate, like a private variable to this, to the structure that will take in, that I can use? Maybe. Let's try it. Private. I've done this. How do I do it? Is it a are they variables? Yeah, private var, buttons, and let's just do, button titles, string, and I think I might be able to Control I. Oh, that's all kinds of messed up. Okay, hold on. So yeah, for there. So then we're gonna I know, but they aren't, they, oh, I see. Oh, Xcode broke. Awesome. It's an even better time when I just close everything. Let's get Xcode back open. Shift T. We'll just open Trello in here. All right, so that project's opening back up. I really didn't mean to do that. I love the resources available here. And it's loading. Sorry that this is taking, this took a little bit. Oh my goodness, log in here. Okay, why is, sorry, my chat's not letting me log in right now. Restream. And I'm going through Restream. I'm gonna go ahead and just pop in the be right back. I'll be right back. I'm having some kind of technical difficulties right now, but feel free to chat and stuff amongst yourselves. And I'll be right back in just a minute. Okay, let me get this open again. I know, but am I not streaming? Okay, I think I'm almost back. Okay, all right, so I'm back, and sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but everything was just going crazy a bit. so let's go ahead back to what I was doing. So I was trying to get those for loops and those functions, those fors into their own function. So I'm going to go ahead and try to keep doing that here. So let's see, we're going to go into, and I did this before inside in here. I think it was in this app that I did it. It was not in this app. It was in a different one. It was in my coffee brewing app. And I got this idea from the open source Animal Crossing app, actually, that I had been using for a little bit of time. And I had actually worked in it a little bit more, where you just return the view that you actually want to see, rather than having a bunch of different things just inside like my body view here. So we're gonna get a calc, or probably timer view. Yeah, so see, I had this function here, but I don't know. It's not a function, it's a variable, but it's not going to give me what I want anyway, so it doesn't matter. I tried. Okay, and I tried looking through other things. So let's go ahead and do this a bit here. A bit more here. I know there's also going to be top left, so let me just mark these. Right hand display. Mark left hand display. I don't know if y'all could hear that, but that was my dog snoring at that point, which is always great. I'm gonna go ahead and take those viewer numbers off because I don't like them in there. They just get lost. Cool, that shouldn't be they should go away soon for you. So on the left hand display, let top. So there is no left hand display, bottom left hand display buttons. And we're just gonna do the exact same thing as we did here. As I did for the bottom soft keys, and basically copy and then paste top left buttons. And those buttons should never change. On the console, those are view 2, view 3. I don't like the previews. It's okay. I just want to focus on the code. Cool. Yeah, view 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do this again. Again, feel free if you have any questions about what I'm doing. Feel free to throw it into the chat. I'd be more than happy to talk about it. View 4. I cannot type today though, so this is fun. View 5. I'm gonna just copy that because there's 10 views. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we have double arrows. You can tell which views I actually use the most. I mean, which console I use the most and which side of the buttons I use the most, because these are the buttons that I actually know off the top of my hand. view 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we have the double arrows. And then we have here, I really should just do 1. I don't need the view in there. And it's going to help it be a little bit smaller. 10, 1, 101. Oh, this needs to be a different. 101, 102, 103, and then I think it goes to 104. Let me make sure. Let me see how that looks right now. So yeah, this has been a grand old time. I'm still planning on going a little bit longer. I'm probably gonna go till about 3 today. Maybe even longer than that, just depending on how long it takes. Or how far I get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 101, 102, 103. Okay, that's a lot. We could actually even make this. So I want to make these equally spaced, and I want to make, I guess the buttons being the same size does not help. But first, let's just separate these out a bit with some spacers. Oops. And we're just going to go through this. So again, if you're new to the stream, welcome. We are just working on my iHog app. It's written in Swift and SwiftUI. I, have fun developing, and I just wanted to do it out in the open. I am a self-taught iOS developer. I've been developing apps for about 2 to 3 years now. I released an app like a couple months before, I think a couple months before SwiftUI was announced. And then as soon as SwiftUI was announced, I switched that over to SwiftUI instead of UIKit, and I've kind of been doing it since. So it's been a fun time, and I thoroughly enjoy it. If you have any questions, feel free. I'd love to answer questions, all that kind of stuff. Cool. So we have spacers now, but yeah, there's nothing in the bottom anyway. And I need a padding at the top, so I'm going to put a padding here. .top. And at some point, but I have said that to those modals, I want to put like a done button at the top that never gets taken away. So I guess I need to wrap this actually in a scroll view here. Yeah. Scroll view has those 4s. And then we'll just put a HStack spacer and a button that says done. It's not actually going to do anything right now, but it will help me know what's going there. Cool. Here it is. Not now. Cool, and we have it here. Soft keys. Dot padding. Dot horizontal. All right, let's see how this goes now. It should look a little bit better. I'm gonna end up making that into my own view at some point, or into a view at some point. That way it's just like I toss in that view rather than I have to remake that button every single time. Encoders work fine, but what I really want is the soft keys to see that. Great. Instead of horizontal, that should be an all. And we'll make that say close. That looks like it's supposed to. I really need to equally space the buttons. And that's going to take some Googling. So if you like watching people Google, then have I got the time for you? Equally space buttons. If I'm going to make the view, I might as well just do it all together. Yeah, if I can equally space those buttons, that'll be a lot better. How come there's space there, but there's not space? Oh, because it's applying to each row, not just each. I get it. Okay, so, all, we're just gonna do that here for everything. Cool. So that's gonna run again. And let's see how that goes. I know I should be talking more through all of this. I just don't. I want to be talking more. I'd love it if you guys ask me questions. How are y'all? Or I can give y'all questions to answer, maybe. So how is y'all's Friday going? Oh, that looks so much better. And granted, there's no space in between each, so you can't really tell that there's space, but you can start seeing that there is more, at least it looks better at this point by adding that padding in, which is great. Cool. You guys that are tuned in, are y'all iOS developers? Do you like, or are you just tuning in to, you know, watch something different than what you normally do? That kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I'd like to, if you want to chime in on the chat what you do, that's great. So outside of iOS programming, I work on, outside of iOS programming, I work on lighting consoles, and this is actually, this app that I'm working on is like a accessory to that lighting console. So like people in theaters, concerts, that kind of stuff will use the app. It grew out of like the fact that the other apps that are out there don't have the functionality of being able to select this function on there called groups or palettes. So like these things here wouldn't exist in the other apps that have been out there to control the console. So basically like a dedicated computer to control the lights. So that's why I came up with this app to do that. And I mean, a bunch of the functionality exists. If you like, there's one that you can completely rewrite. You can basically completely make the layout how you want it to be. And that was a great one, except it doesn't do, like I said, it didn't have that like groups and palettes and stuff like that. I'm pretty bare bones on the design wise. I just am kind of using the default design because I want it to work at the end of the day. So functionality is what's important to me. And then I'll go in and tweak the design a bit more. With these soft keys, I'm kind of doing it the opposite way. I'm doing the design first, and then I'll get the functionality in. And this is really just for one console. So there's about 5 consoles that have different layouts of the buttons. And I want the users to be able to decide to be able to enter which console they're on, and what they, and then what console they, and then the buttons react based on that console, because you could be on a hedgehog one day and then a roadhog the next day. Cool. So bottom right soft, so that's working here. I forgot exactly what I was doing before I started talking about like what I did outside of streaming and outside of development. So yeah, my day job is not iOS development. My day job is working with these lighting consoles and making sure that people actually know what and making sure that people know what they're doing with these lighting consoles. So what we're gonna do is work on. Okay, so I have them kind of going here. I really want them to be equally spaced. And then once they're equally spaced, before I did that, I was going to group here, text, views, is give some labels in here for the user, font large. We'll just keep the font normal. It won't be in a button, so it should be okay. That way, I mean, more description's better. Knowing what you're tapping on is better. I might make those conditional at some point to where you can turn them on or turn them off. I really like the idea of an app being kind of like you can customize it whatever you want. As much as possible. I mean, that requires a lot more work on my end, but if they like it, then why not do it? Add setting to turn off labels in soft key menu. Soft key. I definitely want that above Android version. And I'll make it medium priority, and that would be a feature. Again, this Trello is something you guys can go see. The source code itself is not open source. I do have some open source apps, but right now I'm not working on them. Monday I will be working on my coffee brewing app that I've started building from scratch here on Twitch. And all of that can also be found on my YouTube if you wanted to. I guess I'm streaming to everything, YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch. But yeah, so it can be there as well. So everything is backed up to YouTube if the videos have expired wherever you're choosing to watch this. Cool. I think so. We have views there. This is going to be, well, I guess maybe labels don't actually make sense because I can't, unless I don't really care how many buttons are put in there. Because what happens is I'm programmatically putting these in here. And these four are all the same. I could just say top left display. And then I have to actually make this a bit more friendly for other languages besides English for the labels. Oops. Labels in localize app. That should probably be way higher than medium priority, but we're going to keep it as that for now. And then in my Trello, whatever's in the to-do column is what I want done for this version specifically. So this will be version 2020.7, meaning I've released 7 updates in 2020. It's quite a bit of updates for this small of an app, but I mean, I keep adding features. What else am I doing during COVID quarantine, shelter in place time? Besides releasing features. Top left display, and then we're gonna call this group text top right display. And then we're going to do one more here. It's going to be group text bottom right display. Cool. It's loading, it's building, it's doing all that good stuff that it's supposed to be doing. Hopefully, like, my stream is going all right. Like, there's nothing, like, super wrong, like, bitrate wise and stuff like that. If there is, please let me know. I'm more than happy to know. I'd love to actually know completely. Cool. So if you might have noticed, as I'm building my apps, this screen popped up this time because I changed my version number. So it's kind of like, you've paid $1.99 for this app that controls your $20,000 console. Well, great. I'm doing this work not as part of the job. So therefore, if you want to throw a couple bucks my way, go for it. Especially whenever a new release is out. I have right here this release. Those are just outlining what the release of this version is actually going to include. So maybe they find it, maybe the users find it in their heart to want to donate a little bit more money my way. Cool. So out of soft keys, we click here, top left, top right, bottom right. If it's there, this needs to be conditional. So actually, everything needs to be conditional. No, well, we'll know it's there. It's just, I don't have any right now. So, like, there should be, like, segments. Great. That should stop it there. Pause it there. I will be right back. I have to run away just for a quick minute or two. So, give me, like, 5 minutes tops, and I'll be right back. Cool. I'm gonna put on the other screen so that you guys can see the chat in the stream. Okay, mic should be hot now. Y'all should be able to hear me, I'm guessing. Sorry, had to feed the cat, had to do lots of things while all of this is happening. Xcode was bouncing. I have no idea why Xcode was bouncing, but it always does. Oh, it was... Cool, I'm gonna go ahead and figure out why we're bouncing. Why is there two? Close that. I'm gonna have to close out Xcode and come back. Oh, couldn't. I hate that. Okay. Close that window. Well, yeah, that's gonna be an issue if I don't. All right, I'm gonna switch it back to normal so you guys can see exactly what I'm working on. I'm sorry for the choppiness that my video feed is, and I know I cause it to happen even more by doing that, but it happens. So I'm really sorry about that, but let's just keep going. Good. All right, so now that we're here and we're a bit live, let's keep going. All right, so it's gonna load, and it's loading, it's building. Yay, yay, yay. Again, if you're watching this and you want to see what I'm working on currently, make sure you hit !iHog. I mean, sorry, not !iHog, !working. Type in !working and you'll get a link to the website for this app. Soft keys. Okay, cool. Yeah, so bottom right buttons work, top right buttons work, that kind of stuff. And that's, you know, great. So let's go ahead and basically we're going to duplicate this view, but for Hog 4s and Hog 418s. I think they have the same buttons at the top and bottom. I know that Hog 4s versus full bores have pretty similar buttons. So we're just going to call this Hog 4 full size. And we're basically just going to copy and paste. Like I said, I think they're almost the same buttons. I just think that, the full bore, I mean, the Hog 4 has one more button up at the top than the full bore 4 does. So that's no big deal. Okay. So I think full bore 4 doesn't have 104. It only has, it has views at the end. That's the one I forgot about. Hog 4 full size. Views button. Oh, and then I need to say, so I need that settings options in here. So I have a property wrapper. That's what it's called, a property wrapper, that has the settings stored. So we actually want to have this observed object go in here. Oh. And this is why I just don't use previews. Alright. Property wrappers in there. And then we're going to say in here, sorry, I need to get it actually into seeing if it's here. Programming small. Yeah, it's here. Okay. And we need to actually send it with it. Soft key buttons. There we go. Okay, so it's just like a normal variable. Great. Settings. So if settings dot chosen console equals full bore 4, is that what I'm saying? Self dot. Then we want to show full bore soft keys, else please select console. Do we know if switch statements will be supported inside SwiftUI at any point? Because if so, that would be great instead of having to do all these ifs and elses that I'm going to end up doing. So if you know, or if you have heard a rumor of that being the thing, please let me know. Oh, because I need to wrap it inside a group, I think. There we go. Okay. And I think that's what's chosen in here. So if I go to my settings, and I go to settings, programming settings, I have to see actually what console selection names I choose because it has to match. So that looks right. So if I go to here, programming settings, change this guy to a full bore 4, it should, haha. And then if I settings here, go back to programmer settings. I want to choose a hog 418. Great, awesome. So that seems to work based on what console I want. Cool. So we need hog 418 and hog 4s, which we already have built. So if settings dot chosen console equals hog 418 or settings dot chosen console equals hog 4, then we want to output that hog 4 full size. Again, I just want to make sure it works, and then if we'll just keep going. And I think that would have gotten that working, and then it's just getting the right setting, the right buttons. So some things that I have to work with if I want this to actually be a full-fledged, like fully done feature, which I do, is like if you hit the segments button, then if segments is tapped, then it changes the whole thing. But then I have to figure out how to clear that out. So I might have just, it might not matter. We'll just have to play with this and see if I actually how this is gonna work here. Top left, top right, bottom. That is because last chosen was and it has 104, so that is a hog 4 or 418. And then if I go back in here, actually choose a road hog. Please select console. Awesome. So we'll just I'll have to go and finish making those views. But I think that's how that should work. So the next thing I need to do is, now that that is looking good, I'm gonna stop it. Go to my Trello here and finish the rest of the consoles. No, I didn't want to mark that as done. It can, oh no, it's still undoing. Finish buttons for the rest of the consoles. And this is done. Let me just finish writing those else's, even though we don't really have the views. Else if, let's open up that programming. Again, I just want to make sure that I get this right. iHog for, and this is going to be a hedgehog for, and then last one is a hog for PC / a hoglet. Great, and that should do that perfectly well. Awesome. Perfect. So that is done. So now these views will dynamically change based on what console's chosen. I'm going to change these to actually be the console names. Settings, not chosen console. That way, only whenever I come back in here to finish these, I can see exactly what's done. Cool. And then if none of those are chosen, which they should be, you have to go and select a console, which totally makes sense because you have to know which console you're on in order to even know the soft keys, like what numbers they are. All right. Let's see now. We have that done. What's next? Midi settings. And then implement Midi. All right, so we need to actually add into the settings options here, Midi. So let me go see how this looks right now. Programmer settings. Okay, so really I should mark this as section with a header. Text. Soft key options. By the way, I'm really going off of no design on this whatsoever, so this is all coming into my head as I'm actually doing things. I hope you guys have been enjoying watching me fiddle around and figure out exactly what I want here, because it's been a grand old time for me as I'm explaining what I'm doing, as I'm saying it. I actually really enjoy it a bit more. It's fun, and it's kind of making sure that I know what I'm talking about a bit. So playback objects, I know, I need to show programmer settings. Cool. Console selection. And then we wanted to do MIDI channels and MIDI notes, is that right? Yeah, so we're gonna do, I think that's what's needed. Let me go into that manual real quick to make sure. Hog for manual. Where is, I'm looking for the OSC part in this manual. So Midi, open sound control, mappings. So that's what I need. So they need a channel number. Okay. Which is totally doable. So I'm gonna make this go here. I don't need two, I really just need the one. Open here, go away, down there, cool. All right, great. So I use this app called Magnet, and it has keyboard shortcuts, so I can like go to half, quarter, all these sizes. I could very easily take this to be a thirds, which actually works a lot better here in this case. That way there's more code on the screen. I don't have to scroll over as much, or the indentions don't happen as much. Great. So let's see. What I want to do is put in a MIDI channel section here. So MIDI channels can only be from 1 to 16, I believe. What does HOG? So not only is it doing an extra feature that I wanted from like a lot of the apps that already exist to control the console over open sound control, it also is one of the apps that keeps like the settings as much of the same as possible. So I want to know what channel numbers HOG actually uses to control things. So we use 1 through 16. Okay, so because then they have to go and map this MIDI note input here. 12. Okay, so we are going to just say what would be the best? I think a picker would do good here. So picker. Oh, I need another variable now. At state private var MIDI channel. It should start at 1, I guess. This is one that's going to have to get a lot of testing, though, to make sure I'm sending out to the proper thing. Get self dot MIDI channel. And then we're going to do a set. Okay, man, I'm already, like, not liking my life right now. Nope, go back. Comma. Set. And in here we're gonna say self dot MIDI channel equals new value. We gotta give it a new value in here. I put that in the wrong spot. Great. So that gets changed there, and we want to do self.update MIDI channel. Func update MIDI channel. Defaults dot set. MIDI channel for key. MIDI channel. Keep things nice and simple here, because the more simple they are, the easier it is so that I remember what things are named. Because I always need them to be named the proper thing. Great, so that should be done. And then the next thing I need is a label in here. MIDI channel. So for each from 0 ... less than, whoops, I want to go 1 to 17, I think. Text. Ah, man. MIDI channel book. MIDI channel is immutable. Let's see, I'm just kind of trying something here to see if that works. I should probably also want to hit update. Print. Defaults dot. And 4-key MIDI channel. All right, let's try that again. So I'm gonna print that MIDI channel there as it needs, so that it's a little bit easier for me to understand exactly like when it changes, because there won't really be much confirmation there. Not now. Yeah, that works. And then we have all these options here. And these will match whatever is chosen here. Okay, I do need to set these as part of the get settings function here. If defaults.object 4-key chosen console equals nil, then defaults dot set chosen console for key chosen console. Cool. And then we're gonna do it one more time. But instead of chosen console, it's going to be MIDI channel. And now we're going to do MIDI channel equals oh, my bad. Great, that should be better. Okay, so I'm having a little bit of an issue here because these are strings, but the console selection is an int. So I kind of need to figure out what's going on. I mean, how to get this correct. Not just what's going on, but how to get this correct. And my sparkling water, this week, last time we went to the grocery store, they were out of the H-E-B brand of sparkling water. So this week, my sparkling water is brought to you by Waterloo Sparkling Water. I believe it's local to Austin, Texas, which is fine. It's just sparkling water. It's great. Yeah, so today's stream brought to you by Midi Coffee Roasting, which I had right before this, and then Waterloo Sparkling Water, and eventually just regular water. I guess I could go find the option. I could also just add in another integer option here. I think that is going to be my option that I go for. Defaults.int the integer for key MIDI channel. Because really, chosen console doesn't matter. Index int defaults dot set index for key chosen console index. Do another one here, so we'll just copy, paste, paste, and this is going to be set console selection. Yep. And then, so then console selection should equal defaults dot integer for key chosen console index. Oh, what's wrong? Missing argument call here. Index equals console select. Oh, wow. Console self. We'll just do new value. It's fine. That should work fine. Oh, I guess I don't have to call index, actually. That's silly. I can just say console selection here. Duh. And then I don't even have to worry about this option up here. Wow. That should have done it now. So I had to do that so that when the app loads, or when this view loads, it'll have the proper option selected. Excuse me. All that bubbly is going to make its way out somehow. Programmer. MIDI channel 13. Oh, and it goes through 16. Red Hog 4. If I have that set as Hog 418, now I stop this madness, I hit go, and let's try running it again. Cool. So yeah, we are getting, not we, I guess you're not developing along with me, but you are watching, so I'm going to say we are getting really far into this. I mean, we've done a lot more than I thought I was going to be able to do so far. Programmer settings. Cool, and it's stored. And if I go here into soft keys, we have them. Great. I still have to implement that close function, but this is going splendidly well. I am so excited that it's gone this well. Great. I'm going to add a stream marker. Cool. So let's go ahead and what are we going to do next? So next we are going to do something fun. We are going, I can't guarantee it's going to be fun. We need to actually implement the OSC part where it gets sent. So Midi settings is done. So implement Midi /OSC. So that soft key, that's going to be where it gets great. And I'm going to have to figure out how this is going to get done exactly. But that soft key is going to be needing to send out the proper Midi note mapping. So the / what is it in here? This OSC mapping. /hog /Midi /on /channel number, your note number. Because that's going to determine these things here. So let's go ahead and start this. I'm gonna go ahead and get this actually added into Git real quick before I start doing that, because I don't want anything to mess up first. Like, computer crashes and then all this work is gone. I guess I could at least go and follow myself and implement it all again. Let's see, what did I do in all this? I made views for FB4 and H4, and then I did something else. I, Midi settings were added. That's what it was. And then we can push. Great. So next, now we are going to get that Midi note input mapping for monitor soft keys going. So inside the soft keys button, we need to import Swift OSC. This is a third-party app. I mean, a third-party library that's super awesome. Let me pull it up real quick because I want to give him a shout out. It's going Swift OSC. Not there. There's too many search places inside. GitHub. Swift OSC Existential Audio is the one I'm using. I can't go to the latest. There's something weird in the latest version that doesn't work with Hog, so that when I and my devices, so when I enable OSC, it just stops. No big deal. So I just rolled back to the version that I know worked, which, like I said, is fine. That's what I'm doing. So since that version's working, that's what we're at. And then we are... So Existential Audio also, or Devin Roth is the dev behind most of it. He does a great job with all of this. I highly suggest doing whatever you can to support this guy. Oh, I didn't realize he had a Patreon now. I mean, I probably won't go support it right now because of things with COVID, but this is going to be something that I want to do at some point once it's back. Cool. Once I'm back to normal at this point. Cool. Okay, so we have this title. We have Swift OSC imported. What I really need is to do... We're going to go ahead and get rid of this. We really need that observable object again to get those settings. Oh, but I didn't add those yet. Okay, user settings. Data about current version. Programming options. Cool. So you might notice that I'm kind of using some of these marks in here. They're kind of cool because if you go up to your user settings, or you go up to here, like your breadcrumb navigation tools up here, and you click on one, then you'll start seeing these marks, or kind of like the comments that I put where the marks are. So you can jump around pretty easily with this. So I can just go here where it says programming options, and it takes me right to that section. So it helps break up these really large files sometimes. Or really long files. I know this only has like 95-ish lines of code, but it could get a lot longer. So we're going to do an @user default again and add this to a property wrapper first. Midi channel. Var Midi channel int will set object will change dot send, and that default value is actually going to be 0 to start off with. Great, so we have that Midi channel. So let's go back now to where it was before. Here we are. Observable object, settings, user settings. Oh yeah, and it's a var. So it's a variable we have to add in. Oh, I can't, my monitor's in the way. Okay. So I'll just try to talk a little bit louder so you can understand me and hear me through all this. Cool. So we have our unknown attribute. Why is that? That shouldn't be an unknown attribute. Unknown attribute. Sorry. Because it's called an observed object. Observed settings. And then I'm gonna guess in here I need to pass it settings, and then full bore. And whoops, settings here. All right, and going down to the hog form one. All right, you can inside Xcode, we can do Control-Shift-Click and get multiple cursors at the same time. And then we can just type it in ourselves rather than having to do it 4 different times. I'm going to get rid of this preview, and then same thing in the full bore preview. Oh, did I miss one? Oh, do I need self? Yes, apparently I do. Self dot. Okay, I'm gonna guess that is the same. Why do I need it here? Yeah, I do need it here. Okay. I was like, I think I'll need it there if I needed it there in the full bore one, but I just want to make sure that I wasn't going to be crazy. Oh, I still have an error. Where is the error coming from? Full bore. Oh, I forgot to put it here. Okay, so let me build that again and let's see how that goes this time. Again, thanks everyone for watching so far. I really appreciate it. We're just over here building iHog a bit more. Yeah, just working on that app this time. Not now. Okay, so it launched, so that's good. What I need to do is make some buttons happen here. Actions happen here. So we're gonna make a, okay, so we need a constant. Actually, sorry, I need to figure out what I need to type in again. So, not a constant. We're actually gonna make it a function. Make a function down here. It's gonna be private. Send OSC. I mean, oh, don't I have an OSC handler? Let's see. Yes, I do. I have an OSC handler that is where this should all go. Okay, so that's just the did receives. Oh, do I not actually send? Oh, great. So that's real. So this manager is really not to actually send OSC. It's just to receive OSC. So then let me go see how I implemented this a bit here inside the button. I have it imported and I just send it. I'm gonna guess button style, don't care, get height, send OSC. Yeah, I just send it. Great. Let's go to user settings. Nope, back to where we were, the soft key button. Yeah, so I need a function, private func, send OSC. What I need here to send is something along the lines of let message equal note int, because we need a Midi note, so this is going to be Midi note. So we need that Midi note, as we can see here, for our note number. So in this message, this is going to be the OSC message we're going to say, and it's just going to be a string for now, slash OS, hog slash MIDI slash on channel, channel number. So this is the first part of settings dot MIDI channel. Then it's going to be slash of what is it? MIDI note, my bad. And then we're gonna do, I shouldn't really need any data at that point. I think that's all I need to send. I mean, that's all it says that it needs to be input. All right. So what we're gonna do here is take it from this message and we're going to do a where'd this go? I'm gonna get that open double here so that I can actually see. Trigger OSC, I know. Playback, great message. Let MSG, let address pattern, so let OSC address equals OSC address pattern of message, and then we're going to do OSC dot dot send OSC address send. So I was wrong. I still need it so we can actually send. We're going to change this to MSG, and then we have to actually make an OSC message here. So it's going to be let message equal OSC message from the address itself. And it's going to complain because it doesn't have the OSC in it. It needs that environment object of OSC for that OSC manager because we have to send it on the same OSC server. So that makes sense. And then we're going to, now that that's done, I'm sure I still have errors. That's no longer a thing. I'm gonna build it. Let's see what happens now that it's built. Ooh, I've gone into the 2-hour mark now in the stream. Usually this is about where I wrap up. I might go for a little bit longer. I really want to get this feature kind of mainly done to where I can at least get OSC out and start testing a little bit with it. Is that all I needed to do? Go away. I want soft keys. Oh, and I'm not actually triggering the function to send. So when the button's built, when the button is hit, I need to send that function. Self.send OSC. Print message dot description. Oh, I might actually be able to test this today. Well, maybe not. We have another hurdle to tackle. Sorry, I know I'm really quiet right now. I'm just trying to think of... Great, 12, 1, 2, 12. It's all on MIDI 12. I mean, MIDI channel 12, which is awesome. Cool, I actually want settings.MIDI channel +1, I think. Well, we'll just leave it as MIDI channel. I won't know until I actually, test it on hardware. But this is so far looking really good. Let's do the next thing now. Okay, so the only issue I'm having now is I need to be able to change this MIDI note based on which button's sent. Let's just deal with the full board right now. Okay. So, like, I know how I would do this. I know I would need to keep, like, a counter. And then when this count... at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out, again, still, can I do string and then an int? So I can then do 0. Oh, I think it goes like this, right? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the best way, because what I need to do is get this number, this 0 number, so that when I hit the button here, this OSC message, that last number on the slash is not 1. It should be whatever number this is here. We're gonna go ahead and I think that should be, comment that out for now. Button dot how can I get the key value? Key value of dictionary in Swift. How do I get the key though? Oh. Index for key at key. I just want the key. Can I do sets of buttons and then button dot keys? Oh, I get it. So I think I need to do dot keys here. Because that's a collection just containing the keys of the dictionary. Nope, that is still not correct, apparently. We have key value. I just need the keys. How do I get just the keys? Oh. It's because it's being that isn't gonna do what I want it to do. Okay. Cannot convert string to expected element type. Oh, I have it wrapped twice. Okay, sorry, I'm thinking. It takes a bit to think, and I should just be thinking out loud. So I need to do a thing to just get the keys, which is a collection, but for each can't run on a collection. So it needs to be something a little bit different than that. Let's see. So there's 4 each sets of buttons. It doesn't like that. And I get it. I wouldn't like it either. Let's go back to how it was before. And then, so like if this, I would have like a counter variable, and then we would do an add counter each one, and then that counter could be then sent. But I don't know how to do that here. I mean, I could just have a giant dictionary. And this is why I'm like, I can't release this as open source, because open source, like, this would just be awful. But I could just have a giant dictionary of let FB buttons, which is a string and an int. Oh, I can just do this. So 1 gives you 0, 2 gives you 1, 3 gives you 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, okay, and then we can do, I mean, I would just have to keep going, but this just seems really, there has to be a different way to do this. But I think this kind of goes back to what I thought about on my walk the other day of like, man, it looks really polished on the screen, but on the behind, I don't know what it looks like. It could very much, there could be an app that's just brutally done like this. And this might just be my inexperience coming into a little bit here. But if anyone had any tips on how to get this a little bit better, I would greatly appreciate it. Even if you don't really know Swift or SwiftUI, it would be great to just have a little bit more feedback as to like if you have another idea here. So basically, I need to get number values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to the button, and then this is going to start back over 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it starts back over at 0 in this one. This really wouldn't be an issue if I had it just as one long array, and then I split up that array. Then I could just pass along the index value at that point. Because you see, my idea was then to say Midi note is FB buttons at 1, for example, and that would get me it. I guess that would work. I'm going to go the really hard way for now. And if there is another way, I would love to, I would love it if someone helped me out and told me. 7, 8, nope, 7, 6, 8, 7, 9, 10, 10 is going to go to 11, 11, then we have the double arrows, 12. And this is really just top buttons. Um, 101 is 13. 102 is 14. 103 is 15. 104. No, that's it. That's all I got for the numbers. Views is, what are they? Views is 16. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm just going to try it once first. And then I guess I can keep making them again. I can just make another dictionary, I guess, that does this. Top button, so soft key, how does this get added in then? Ender, soft key, button, MIDI note right after title. Cool. So we're gonna do here, MIDI note, it's gonna give me, what was this? Self dot, oh, that doesn't need to be capitalized at the beginning. It's lowercase at the beginning to keep it in the style. Top buttons at title. No, at button. Why did my build fail this time? I did not say. Oh, here you go. Oh, because it might be conditional. So instead of, then we'll keep 0. All right, so let's try that this time. And hopefully this number down here then changes. All right, so I hope everyone's having Good Friday. You know, Friday before a nice 3-day week. I mean, Friday of the 3-day weekend. I hope everyone has good plans. Sorry, my legs get a bit itchy out here. Let's hit now. I have apparently somehow been still getting my stand hours through all this, which is great. MIDI channel, I don't want it to be 13. Let's just, or 2. Load. MIDI channel 1. And this is going to be full bore 4. Great. Going to setting. Program review. Great. Okay. Soft keys. 1. Ha! It says 0, 1 down there. 2, 0. Oh, but why? I don't know why I got so excited. And did I just type in 1? No, it says MIDI note there. Up. I don't know. Why did that not take completely top buttons? Or 0? I mean, $127. Let's see. So I'm trying to figure out why whenever I click, it should be outputting not MIDI note 1, it should be outputting whatever variables there. Huh. It's like it's not changing. Oh, I wonder if it's because it's lit, but really that message shouldn't be declared until the buttons hit. Midi note int 1. Okay, so I'm gonna try something real quick. What if we put in a breaking point there? Debugging and printing. I'm trying to be better about, I'm trying to learn how to use the Xcode debugger a lot better than what I currently know now. Because believe me, I don't know really how to use it. All right, so soft keys. Okay, great. So we have them here. Midi note. But it didn't actually stop. So it's like it's not coming in for some reason, but everything else is changing. And it's a variable. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I hit 8, clearing it out right now, hit 8. Nope, it's just giving me that 1. Nope, I need that to be an int. Print Midi note. Oh, what am I missing here? Okay, so why wasn't that caught before? Top buttons, right? Top buttons at button. Or 255. So if it doesn't find it, it should give me 255. Oh, I wonder if that's also why I wasn't hitting the right button. And really self, I forgot to hit self. Fix. And then we'll fix this also. And I need to actually rename this guy. Right click, or command click, rename, top left buttons. Okay, now let's try it. I don't know why. Oh, where? Now I have another issue. Invalid redeclare. Oh, okay. Top left, button value. Actually, I'm gonna hit rename again because that's not what I wanted it to be called at all. We're gonna call this actually something completely different here. And it's gonna be called top left Midi note. There we go. That should be better now. It has Midi notes in the call. Oh my goodness, where did this go? I bet my computer is I'm gonna hit save real quick. MIDI note, top left MIDI note at button, or 255. Right? Oh, where'd it go? Oh, I get it. It's upset here. This is a completely different file than what I was in. I have MIDI note in there. Okay, so now I can just copy. We're gonna paste. And we're gonna paste. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so I figured out what my error was. It was because since I was adjusting that soft key button and I had two views, I had to go and adjust them in both views, not just full bore. It also had to change in the hog 4/418 view. Makes total sense once I do it. Soft keys. Great. And then that should just be 255. Awesome. So that works. I actually get to test it now, so I'm going to put it on a real device real quick. And I need to do some setup on my console, and I really want to say whether or not this works while on air. So while I'm setting this up, if you have any questions or want to see anything, let me know. Put it in the chat, because I'm more than happy to answer some questions during this time. I'm going to be paying attention a bit, so please let me know while I get this started. So I'm just going to be using my phone here. Actually, I need to take a quick break. My mom is calling, so I will be right back. Okay, and I am back personally. Sorry about that. My mom called, and then I think it was a butt dial. And I never know if it's going to be a real dial or a butt dial. So I'm going to work over here. So you're going to see the side of my face for a little bit of time, purely because, again, I'm over here. Yeah. Feel free, like I said, put anything in the chat that you want me to answer. Especially during this little test period that I have, I'm more than happy to answer. Like I said, I am currently working on iHog. If you don't know what that is, we should be getting stuff into the chat room right now where you can get that website. Go to the website to see what exactly it is and what it's doing. But right now I'm just getting this console ready to do some tests. Diagnostic, FixtureNet, that's where I want to default. Okay, and then I am going to actually not do it on my phone, or I should do it on my phone rather than my iPad, because that is what I tested on. So in the chat, you should have a link to the website that I'm working with.
It's iHogapp.com if you want to know what it's called, and if you want to see kind of like an overview of what the app actually does, or and all that kind of stuff. So I have this my phone plugged in. I'm gonna build to my phone itself real quick, maybe, if it decides to. If Xcode decides to pick it up, that's always the hardest part on real devices, on whether or not Xcode wants me to test. Let's see, maybe it needs to unplug and then replug again. I don't need to go to my iPad. Let me close Xcode and then we'll open it back up. And I know, I'm sorry, my webcam is a bit jittery. I'm going to switch to a different view here so it's not as jittery. That way, like I know the frame rate is not the best right now. It is something I'm working on doing, but I'm getting better. Just gotta bear with me while we're waiting. All right, so I'm gonna open Xcode again, and let's see if that comes up now. And let's launch it. It's launching. Let's see if it's... Oh, there's my phone. I'm gonna unlock it, and after it's done indexing, I can actually build the app to my phone. I'm gonna go ahead and launch a show file though. Done. Oh, well, that's fun. I don't want it to do that. I need it. Did it just kick off my phone? Just build to my phone. That's all I want right now. Build and run on my phone. Me working with Xcode, trying to get Xcode to work correctly is another part that I just kind of work on here and there. Xcode sometimes decides to work perfectly fine, and then Xcode sometimes decides not to work perfectly fine. It's a fun time that I don't wish on anyone. All right, so it's just in a little bit of a waiting game here to build. But cool. So again, thanks for coming and watching. I really want to get this tested and see if it works or if I can get it working. So the next thing I'm going to do is, again, still some more setup here on the console side rather than on this, but we'll see when it starts when the building is done. So let's go here, network, console settings, MIDI note input. I want as the soft keys. And let me get my open sound control going. Not now. Programmer settings. I'm on a full bore 4. And I want the MIDI channel to be MIDI channel 1. Great. So I have that set up. So far we're doing good here, guys. It's working. And then I need to actually get the OSC set up. So go to Open Sound Control tab on the console, 192.168.86.43. I have to figure that out. And so I need to type in here 192.168.86.23. And then 7002. Yeah, we want to enable, okay. Turn off, turn back on. So we should be not even connecting. Pig open 1, just make sure. OSC input options have now changed. Turn off,
Turn on. OSC is on. So I'm trying to make sure that this is actually going to work with my phone right now. It's not getting any input here. Setup. Network. So this might be another thing that is just going to work against me today. Open sound control. 192.86. 168. 192.168.80. I'm doing the wrong IP address. If the IP addresses are not wrong, then are not correct, then of course it's not going to work. Now that should be better. There we go. Okay, so that works. I'm going to open my Midi viewer on the console so that I can make sure it's make sure that I'm actually sending in Midi notes correctly. And then we're going to try this. So scroll down for soft keys. You guys should be able to see my... I'd like for you to be able to see my device. So 1 second. No, I don't need to go into settings. Studio mode. That way you don't see me just fiddling around with it. Is it video capture? I think it is. Phone. Device. iPhone. Okay. No, you didn't lose connection, but that's fine. It really doesn't matter what size this is. This is... Okay. Where is it? It's not there. Today has been a day of frustrations. Oh, here it comes. Okay, so I want to make that way smaller so that you can actually see it here. All right, we're gonna... Cool. So you can at least see my phone here, that it's running on the device. So the next thing I'm gonna do is try it out and see if I can get that Midi note to come in. So I'm gonna hit the top left. Oh, and it said goodbye. Why? Let me try building to... no, I don't need to go to the iPad. Let me try running it again. Cool. Yeah, I have the background that matches the watch band, because why not have coordinating phone and watch at this time? I mean, what else am I doing besides coordinating my phone and my watch together? So this is just going to build again. It's going to take a little bit longer to build just because the computer's doing a lot of other things at the same time now. Again, I hope everyone's having a good Friday. It's been a fun time. Like I said, once this gets tested, I'm hoping this is all I get. I mean, we'll probably call this done once it works or doesn't work. If it doesn't work, we'll keep working and figuring out why it doesn't work necessarily. But if it does work, then I'm kind of going to call this done. I think we've had a good session here of coding and working on this app. The next time I would be on is on Monday at 6. No, not 6. Wow. Monday at 1 p.m. again, 1 p.m. CDT, and I'm going to work on that coffee brewing app that I've been working on. And as always, if you missed or if you just caught into this and you want to watch it from the beginning, it's going to be on YouTube. It'll be on Twitch at the end. My YouTube is Apps by MW, the same as my Twitch. It just makes it easy to do and easy to keep. Turn off, turn on OSC. So it's running on the app again. You can kind of see here. We're going to go back into programs, soft keys, Cool. And I got nothing coming in. No observable object of type OSC manager found in this view. Yeah, I thought that was weird. Okay. So actually I think I can figure out, I know why, because we're never passing in that environment object to this view. So we're going to hit stop here. And we're going to we're going to get this OSC manager into my view. So first off, what we need to do is get it into the soft keys buttons, and that comes from the programmer all small. And just like here, we're just going to do this. We're going to just send that environment variable or that environment object. Goodbye, Xcode. I knew it was about to crash. So let's open it again, and hopefully it comes back. All right, I'm also, unfortunately, everything is dying on my computer, so that's fun. I don't mean to end. I'm just going to get rid of my phone. So right now, that way it's just not pulling that processing power. Sorry, that blipped out. I'm not ending yet. I got to figure out what exactly is going on, and why it is being a little bit weird and it didn't get that. So I'm going to let this just sit here for a sec. We're going to figure out what's going on here before I end the stream, of course. Cool. Yeah, so if you want to be notified the next time I go live, then please hit a follow, and I'd be so grateful for it. On top of that, you get to know when I go live. I'm doing a lot more app development things. I'm probably going to start streaming Monday through Friday, like every day. I just can't guarantee on Tuesdays and Thursdays what time I'll be doing it. But for sure, whatever times I have scheduled. So Monday and Friday are definitely app development days. And then Wednesday, I also stream Animal Crossing, because you gotta have some fun every now and then. It can't just all be code. So that so on Wednesdays during the day, I stream Animal Crossing right at that 11:30 time, so that I can get a little bit, see that turnip prices for the mornings, and then go straight into doing whatever I need to get done on my island at that point in time. Yeah, and then on Mondays, I make that coffee brewing app. That is consistent every Monday. That is the app we will be working on, because I just wanted to build something on Twitch live from start to finish. So every Monday, that is the time slot that's dedicated to that coffee brewing app. Fridays or any other time I work on an app, it'll either be this iHog or be my Fixture Universe Converter app, or it could be something completely different. But those are really the schedule that I have out right now, and that's really what I'm trying to stick towards. A little bit about me, if you're just tuning in, just to keep talking, I guess. A little bit about me. So I don't do app development as my full-time job. These apps are just for fun. They help bring in a little bit of pocket cash here and there. So if I wanted to get a new watch band, I can, stuff like that. They're not really rolling in any real money, which is fine. It's no big deal. I just do them for fun. This one that I'm currently working on works in tangent with a lighting console, which is great. It gets me a little bit, it was all for, I did it all because that's what I wanted out of an app, out of a remote control device. Okay, so OSC is going. Let's try this again. Soft keys. Found for OSC manager may be missing as an ancestor of the view. So I'm still not getting, I haven't yet quite gotten it enough in there. So I just have to figure out how far back this environment object, like where it needs to come from. Full bore soft keys probably needs it as well, I'm gonna guess. environment. I thought the whole point of the environment variable was I didn't have to do that all the time. It's something that I'm going to have to look into at some point and figure out exactly why it's working or why it's not working. Figure out what exactly does environmental variable do and why is it different than the other one. Oh, it's because it's not actually in here. So I need soft key button. No, that's fine. Okay, so that's should be better, I think. Because I don't think I need to say it with every time go in there. I think it just needs to be from where this is and then from the also where it gets called from the small programmer section, which it is not doing again. Because yes, the Xcode crashed. Cancel, stop building, it's fine. Literally stop the presses. And we're gonna do Megan's iPhone. There we go. Let's try this again. And it's gonna be building. And we just gotta wait for it to finish building again. Cool. Yeah, so like I said, this isn't full-time. I've worked on iOS apps for about 2 years, 2 to 3 years. This isn't my first app I've released, but this is going to be the first app that I carry but this is going to be one of the first app that I want to keep support for the previous iOS once WWDC comes out. So that'll be fun, and that'll be something I do, and trying to figure that out completely and how that works necessarily. Not now. Soft keys. Oh, hey. All right, I didn't get an error, so that's good. Midi needs something added, so it needs errors. There was errors given. So let me see what those are necessarily. So these errors and or as our OSC. Okay, so I need data added to here still. How did I do that before? What else needed data? So could I just do 0, 127? Let's just do 1 and build that guy now. So data is, that's like the velocity of the note. Like if you had a piano, it's like like a normal keyboard, a MIDI keyboard. It's how hard you actually hit that note on that keyboard. Soft keys, boom, 2. Nope. Oh, hey, it's receiving something. But it's not. Oh, it's now upset. It's sending 16. My address is nothing though. Why is my address nothing? Well, I did the space. I know, that was so long ago, Xcode. Okay, so data, but how if I wanted to call this? So I got to figure out how I wanted to call this here. Is there anything else that I'm sending actual data for? Well, that's me taking data in. See, like, we're not consistent with some stuff here. Like, this doesn't make sense necessarily because we just send out, like, what's data, what's not data. This is it. Button mappings, because it's a 0 and then a 1. So hold on. I'm going to go figure this out under shared. That would be a hardware button. Okay, so it's just comma here. So to send out the data, we're just going to do a comma and then we'll do 1. That should be better in sending out that. Why did it fail? Oh, because it goes into the message, not the address. And it's time to stand, so while it builds, I'm gonna stand off camera though, and stretch a little bit, move around. I'm trying to hit all my stand goals and all my move goals for my Apple Watch. So just trying to get everything going. So this is now, it's not now, okay, let's see. Buttons, soft keys, 2. Ooh, okay, but for some reason I am missing because I have to do -1, I think, instead of +1, because that did the lower right. Oh, and I have to send an on and then an off button. Okay, so, okay, great. So we're just gonna call this a variable then instead of, because what I have to do is send the on and then send the off. MIDI note 1, on, MIDI note, MIDI channel. We want to do -1 here. Right? Well, lower right is what MIDI channel. MIDI note is lower right 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I see. Because they don't actually start over. So actually these buttons, they're just all buttons. They don't start over. I misread the documentation that they put out. So rename. Again, we're going to rename it just MIDI notes. So really for the upper left, these are going to be 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35? How come there's only 12 buttons? We have more than 12. Let me see if I keep going, if I keep getting more buttons. 36, 37, and then 38. Huh. That's weird. Okay. Oh, that's 35. Okay, and then I need to do basically we're gonna do this all again. MSG equals quote /hog /MIDI /off /copy MIDI note great OSC address equals OSC address. Oh no, that can all stay the same. No, it can't. I lied. address pattern of the message, and then we're going to have the actual message, which is the OSC message, equals OSC message of OSC address, comma 0. And then we gotta send it again. So I might make this dictionary something that's a little bit more global, since apparently it's the same across all the consoles. Oh, it's trying to build to an iPad. I don't want it to build to an iPad. I want it to build to my phone. I think I keep losing connection from Xcode to my phone because of the cable's a bit old, and anytime I move it, it loosens that connection. So I think it might be time to find a new lightning cable. Also, did I actually get my stand goal? I don't think I actually got my stand goal because I got distracted. I did not get my stand goal. It's fine. I am gonna stand up a bit more and be a little bit away from the camera and run in place a bit and get my stand goal. Oh, unlock. Okay. It's unlocked. Not now. I never want to rate it on my device. Soft keys, and boom. Channel -1 is invalid. So, okay. We're going to get rid of these -1s here. I'm sure I haven't been paying attention enough to Twitch streams, but I don't know if they all do this to get up and get some stand hours, but I need to because, like I said, I want to get that done. Not now. And I did it. So now I can sit down again. Soft keys. Great. I swear. Aha! What? Upper left 11. What? I hit button number 3, I thought. I did. It sent out 26. Midi note 26 mapped to soft key upper number 11. Oh, that's upper left. But that's hitting move. So our documentation is just all kinds of fun and wrong, I think. Because then that's hitting size 1. That's hitting copy. Move. Focus. Unlock. Close. Huh. Well, upper left and upper right are not the same. So, what if I make this 12? So we're going to try again. So I think I found issues in the manual. Midi notes don't map properly. All right, and I will send off an email at some point because that should not happen. The manual should be the source of truth and should be completely right. So that's sent. Unpark. Settings, and we want MIDI. Map to soft key lower right 13. So these are just wrong in all kinds. So, okay, so it does actually depend on the console type, because 13 in here says that it should be upper right 2, which would be the programmer, and that's not right. So we know we start at the bottom right display, and then do we go across the top? So 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because that, well, I sent in 12. And that gives me lower right 13. Which is unpark. Okay, so then what does 1 give me? I mean, what does 0 give me? And this is why I end up in my GitHub, in my public GitHub repo, I put in all the mappings. Okay, so that gives me soft key lower right 1. So 0, MIDI note 0 equals lower right 1 on a full bore 4. I wonder if this changes from console to console. Oh, it does. Oh, that's right. Lower right 1 gives you 0. Okay. It's just 12 didn't switch over like it should. So it says MIDI note on channel for lower key 1 on mapped. Okay, so great. Max. Oh. Huh. Okay, great. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so that's good, but what I want to do now is figure out where this other one goes. So, like I said, it's lower right 1, but where is top right 1 then? So if that's 13, 14, 15... So is it 16 that starts at the top left? Probably. Megan's iPhone, great. And this is all for notes. Cool. So I'm just, like I said, I'm still figuring out where exactly the discrepancy is. Is it with the manual? Is it with what I have written? Like, there's errors. I just don't necessarily know where the errors are completely. Settings, soft keys. Oh, it's not opening. Oh, I don't know why. Encoders, great. Okay, so, but 16 opened the help manual. Upper right. So 16 goes to the upper right. Okay, and then, so that goes to the upper right, 16. Pig open, MIDI note map to physical key. What physical key is set up? MIDI.
So 38 is not mapped. That gives me commands. (102). Wait, programmer. (36, 37 open commands). Okay, so I've started finding kinds, master palettes. Whatever is 9, 32. So 32 starts the upper left. And then what was the bottom? What started the bottom right though? Did I say lower right starts at 0, upper right starts at 16, upper left starts at 32. Okay, so I got all those worked out. I know what the issue is now at this point. Like I said, I think this only works for full bores because I think from console to console, these numbers are going to change. And that is not documented in the manual. So this is always where the fun part is trying to figure out whether it's documentation that went wrong or if it's something that I did that I went wrong. In this case, it's a little bit of both. I wasn't reading correctly because that clearly says lower right. I took it as upper left for some reason. Those numbers don't match whatsoever. But yeah, so with that being said, I appreciate everyone dropping by and watching me while this was happening. Please feel free to email me, follow me on Twitter, all that kind of stuff if you need to. I guess not email me, but follow me on Twitter. Same as my so it's appsbymw_ is my Twitter. Go to my website if you want to see any blog posts I've written, recaps of some live streams I've done. That's appsbymw.com. Feel free to follow me here though, so that you're notified. Follow me, subscribe, do whatever you want to do to get notified when I go online. So that on Monday when I start again, we hit the ground running with the coffee brewing app. And like I said, with that being said, I'm gonna call this done because I really need a break from this for a little bit of time. You may or may not see me again this weekend, but that's gonna be up to me. So again, thanks so much for stopping by and watching, and I will see y'all around for sure on Monday. Bye.